Hello, welcome to this webinar where we will be discussing the GP Pro EX connection key function. Just a short agenda here. We will describe what the key is, and then we will show it in use in the GP Pro EX environment. And we'll also show it what it looks like in the offline menu in the HMI via remote HMI. Okay, so just a note about that all current HMI models in WinGP are supporting the connection key. So basically anything that you can buy today as a new product from Prophase supports the connection key. The older models, for example, the GP3000, do not support the connection key, but of course those are not current models. Okay, so just a couple of notes about the connection key. So in newer versions of GP Pro include a connection key function. It's within the transfer functions, right? So it's part of the transfer tool. And basically what happens is the connection key is enabling communications between the display unit and the GP Pro EX transfer tool or GP Viewer EX. Okay. Key point to remember, the connection key is stored in your unique GP Pro EX development environment, is transferred to the display unit only the first time the project is transferred. Okay, this is an important part to remember, is that the key itself is coming from the GP Pro EX environment you are currently working in and gets transferred from there. Here's kind of a slide to illustrate that. Let me turn on my pointer here. Okay, so it's works. So your key is workstation specific, so it's stored in your workstation, and then the display is storing the key from the first workstation that transfers the project. So if in this example, I have workstation A, I come along on the first transfer, I transfer in connection key A into the display unit. This is going to store this connection key A because it's the first transfer. If I come along with workstation B, I could have a completely different connection key, and I could even tell workstation B to transfer the key into the unit, and it will not do it because it's only transferred the first time. It can only be overwritten in the offline menu. And that's what this key rules down here is showing us. Okay, so this is just kind of what it looks like in the transfer tool. What we will do is I'm going to show you what this looks like in practice, just so you can get a feel for what we're dealing with, and then I'll show you what this looks like in the offline menu. Okay, key point to make here is this is a key thing that you can get if you click on this little information button here in the transfer settings. This is a key point. So if you don't want to be bothered by this connection key, just make sure this box is unchecked. So the point is when you get a unit out of the box, you go to transfer it the first time, you cannot get around this dialog. Okay, but the password should be pre-filled in for you, so you should only have to enter a complex password one time, effectively twice, right? Because we make you enter it twice. If you don't want to deal with the key anymore, simply clear the checkbox, transfer to the HMI, and the HMI should never ask for the key again unless somebody goes into the offline menu and enables the key. And that would require them to know this connection key. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'll pause out of the PowerPoint and go into a GP Pro environment. Okay, so here we are in our GP Pro EX development environment, and I'm just going to simply go to transfer the project. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer the project. So just to establish the situation that we have right now is we have an HMI that's basically been taken out of the box. So this is the first time we will transfer to it. So we are going to just discuss how that works in conjunction with the connection key. So here you could see I'm just basically transferring the project. So here, let me click OK to this. You can see this is talking about the connection key itself. So you could read about that, and then I'll transfer over the transfer tool. And then to get at the connection key settings, we actually go to the transfer settings. You can see what I've got. I've just got it set up to transfer via a USB cable. And then down here is where we have the main settings for the connection key. So this is where we set up the connection key, and then note this is the connection key that is tied to this PC. And since this is a new out of the box HMI, and this is the first transfer, this connection key is the connection key that will be transferred from the PC into the HMI, and then it is stored in the HMI. And again, to reiterate, that key is now in the HMI, and the only way to change it is to go into the offline menu. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just tell the HMI to authenticate to the key, just so we can kind of see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And now we're going to go into the send process. Okay. So now you can see this is the first time. You can see we don't have to fill in the dialog again. It pre-fills the key for us in both fields. Okay. And we're going to, in this case, tell it to authenticate to the key. Okay, so remember, if we don't care about the key, we just simply clear the box, and it should never, and the HMI should never ask for the key again until somebody enables it via the offline menu. Click OK. And now we're transferring, and this is just the normal transfer process. Now, of course, we're transferring because this is the first transfer out of the box. We're transferring the system. Okay. So that's all we're really going to show. Nothing more, too much more is exciting going to happen. We just have some time to transfer in the project. Okay, so now that we have our project loaded into the HMI with the connection key and the connection key enabled, what I'm doing here is I'm calling up the offline menu in Remote HMI for Windows on my, I've got a remote desktop into a computer. And let's just take a look at what that connection key looks like in the offline menu. And remember, the offline menu is the only place where you can go in and change, enable, or disable the key. So we need to go to the security settings. And then you'll see in the security settings, there's the connection key settings. And now you see absolutely nothing. So if you want to do anything, the first thing you must do is enter the key. Okay, so that's kind of the point, is that now I must know the key to do anything. So if I want to make any changes, I have to do that. So now if I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in my key, I'm just going to pause this while I put that in. Okay, so now I've entered my key. Okay, so now you could see the checkbox is checked, saying that I need to authenticate when transferring. And now you can see if I want to check, if I want to change the key, etc., I can do that from here. So you can see what this looks like when I want to change the key. Okay, so you can do things like that. So let's just back out of here. Okay, I'm going to go exit, and we're going to go back to the program. Okay. Okay, so here we are in our other environment, so to speak. So this is a different computer with a different connection key. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and transfer the project. Okay, click OK. I'm going to change it to Ethernet. Okay, so now what you can see is in the connection key in this computer, I don't know if you noticed, but you can see it's a little bit of a shorter connection key. The point is that the connection key is different from the connection key that I have transferred to the unit. And I am also making the point here that I'm also checking the box from this computer, but this effectively, because the HMI already contains a key, this effectively has no effect from the tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And let's see, it's hopefully our panel cup. This is the first installation. No, there we go. There I have our unit. And we're going to go ahead and try to connect to it. Okay, so now you can see I'm going to use the connection key from this computer. Okay, and now what you can see is, okay. Okay, and then what you can see is this is the message that really means something here. The authentication of the connection key failed. So even though I told it to transfer the key, it failed because I basically had the wrong key. This message here, I believe, is just it's giving you other possibilities. It could be that the port control is also off, but that's not the case here. Okay. So just to make the, just to kind of show that in practice. Okay, thank you.